This is the tutorial for the Beach Day Bloom. Step 1, punch out your petals. Step 2 is to curl your petals. You can curl a couple petals at a time, and I like to use a thicker diameter dowel rod for this because I think it gives a really pretty curl to the petals. You're going to want to angle your dowel rod a little bit at those humps on the heart at the top so they come out looking like that. Step 3 is to shape your petals. This is where I tell you to make them sit like a lady. We're going to cross the legs of the petals over like that, make them sit up. So it gives a little bit of a bend to your petal, so it's not so flat. You're going to want to cross them over a decent bit. Like if those are the legs, we say cross them at the knees, so that they have a nice full effect to the flower in the end. Step 4 is to build your base. You're going to just take your wire, fold it in half, and then glue it to the larger shape, leaving a little bit out because that's where you're going to be hanging it on your wall or whatever you want to do with it. I like to put the glue horizontally in strips. It just makes it a lot faster and easier. Then you're going to glue down your smaller shape on top, press it down, and lift up the flats and put some more glue there just to give it a more solid base for your flower to be built on. Step 5 is to build your flower. You have 12 larger petals. You're going to use 6 for the first layer. You see that this is a 6-sided shape that you're going to build on. And you use your side as your guide and put 1 petal on each side of that shape. I come down about 1 inch to 1.25 inches or so. Just 1 petal to each side and go all the way around. For your second layer, you're going to just put these petals in between that first layer, in between those petals, like so. When I look back on this, I wish I would have brought them down a little bit more just to kind of make it a fuller effect to the flower. But in the end, you can go back and recurl this with your dowel rod, make those petals a little bit more curly, and then it'll give it a fluffier look. Then you follow it, same thing with the smaller petals. Tuck that last petal under the first petal on that right side. Then you're going to put that little small shape in the center just to cover up the rest of the brown from the back. And now we're going to work on our center. So step 6 is to make your center. I like to use the smaller, shorter dowel rod for this one. I'm going to curl all of these strange looking peaks out. Curl them away from me. On this whole snake of the center, just curl them. And it's okay, it doesn't have to be like super curly, just giving it a bend to give it some movement. Now we're going to take that same dowel rod as our helper and just roll it in on itself, again with those petals curled outward. And here I start to fuss with my center and then start over. And it's okay if you do that. You're just going to curl it in on itself again, and then you put it into the center of your flower and play with it till you get it to look like you want it to look. Then you're going to take that end of it and glue it to itself so that it kind of stays together. And then you're going to take the yellow circle and glue it to the center of your flower. This is just going to be a landing zone for your center, so it has that yellow color behind it. Then you're going to put a whole bunch of glue on that yellow circle and put your center on that glue. You want a bunch of glue so it captures all those layers of the coiled center. Pop it in there, fuss with it a little bit until it looks how you want it to look. And of course I fuss with it way too much. But there you go. Voila, a pretty beach day flower.